All right, Form 371, the buyer designated representation agreement, the authority for purchase or lease. So this form is used when you're working with a buyer and you're looking to purchase or lease a property. So let's go through this. Talks about the brokerage, Red and White Realty, and the address of the brokerage, depending on which branch you're with, this address will be different. And then, of course, your buyer's names, their address, and then your name. So I'll put my name in here, get rid of that. Get rid of that. So you put your name in here. That's who you are. You are the designated representative. And it says they'll be providing services and representation to the buyer, and the brokerage provides services, but not representation. So as a rep, you are the one doing the services. The brokerage does not do the representation. The buyer hereby gives the brokerage the exclusive and irrevocable authority to act as the buyer's agent. So what that means is that they can't have two buyer agencies, only one with you, and that's it. So before you get them to sign this, you'd be saying, have you signed another buyer agency? Because that will trigger as to whether they're going to be honest with you or not. Starting date, let's put a date here and say we're going to start on the 2nd of September and we're going to go until, let's say, October, November 29th. And you can put in the time here, AM or PM. Put in 12 p.m. on the 72nd. Da, 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 da. So basically, you got a time and a date here. And then it says the buyer acknowledges that the time period for the agreement is negotiable between the buyer and the brokerage. However, in accordance with the Trust and Real Estate Act, the brokerage must obtain the buyer's initials. So you get their initials and you put them right here. And what are they looking for? Are they looking for a residential or a commercial? Are they looking for a single family or a duplex? You have to define what it is they're looking for in this use property type. And then geographic location. Are they looking for a property in Southern Ontario? Are they looking for something in Waterloo? I would keep this as broad as possible because buyers tend to start looking and then change their mind. So I would say region of Waterloo to get started. Of course, if you're looking for them outside of the region of Waterloo, maybe you're going to London or whatever, you can put in province of Ontario. So you need a geographic location here in order to stand in front of a judge and say, I had them sign this because they said they wanted to look through all of Ontario. Buyer hereby warrants that the buyer is not party to representation agreement with any other registered real estate brokerage for the purchase of a or lease of a real property of the general description indicated above. So let's say you put in here Waterloo. They may have another buyer rep for Kitchener, or they may have another buyer rep for London. But because you've defined what it is they're looking for, and it says in the general description above, that is the trigger that says, okay, I don't have one, or I do have one, and they initial here. There's a Schedule A already attached to this. Are you going to put a Schedule B? Probably not. So you just leave that blank. Commission, it says that the brokerage is entitled to be paid a commission of. So I would put 2.5% on the sale of the property because they may be offering 2% to the cooperating brokerage. And in reality, you're probably not going to chase the buyer for the 2%. But if they offer 2.5 and you've only put in 2 here, then you're only entitled to 2 and the other half would go back to the listing brokerage. So that is why you want to put 2.5% here. This is the holdover clause. So it says that if they leave you and go to another agent, they still are supposed to give you commission. I usually put in 60 days. Scroll through and you can see that there is a part here for signatures of the buyers and the dates will show up. Then you sign here and put your name. So name and signature. And then the buyers acknowledge that they understand all of this and have received a copy. So you put that there. Then you look at the Schedule A and you go, okay, what services am I going to be providing this buyer? I'm going to show them homes. I'm going to negotiate contracts. I'm going to work with their mortgage professional. Mortgage professional. Whatever services you think you're going to be doing, you can put into the service agreement. And then you initial it and the buyers initial it. So this is the buyer rep agreement. This is something that will allow you to get paid because they're agreeing to pay it. And if you ever get in a situation that you have to stand in front of a judge, they're going to say, "Did you get a buyer's rep signed?" So get 371 signed, and that way you're secure.